Hello everyone, welcome to UPSC AKHADA. Now in this video, we are going to start book number 2 of class 11 NCERT, and we will be dealing with chapter 1 of this book, Political Theory and Introduction. Now what we are going to study in this chapter, I'll tell you the main points. Number 1 is we'll be discussing what exactly is politics. Then we'll also be reading about political theory, then putting these political principles into practice. Why should we read political theory? Then we will also discuss politics versus political theory. And finally, we will be talking about the importance of political theory. So, let us start with what is politics. Now, before we go on to politics, we know that human beings, they are unique in two respects. One is that they possess reason, and the second is that they have the ability to reflect on their actions. Now, human beings also have the capacity to use the language and communicate with each other. Now, unlike other species, we can also express our innermost thoughts, our desires, and then we can share our ideas and discuss what we consider to be good. Political theory also has its root in these two aspects of human behavior. Firstly, it analyzes the basic question as how the society should be organized. Then, why do we need government? Also, what is the best form of government? Then, does law limit our freedom? What does the state owe its citizens? And finally, what do we owe to each other as citizens? So, political theory basically examines all these kind of questions in a very, very systematic way, and it values such as freedom, equality, and justice. We talk about all this in a political theory. Also, political theory जो है वो एक मीनिंग और सिग्निफिकेंस देती है इन सभी कंसेप्ट्स को. जितने भी कंसेप्ट्स अभी तक हमने पढ़े हैं, इक्वालिटी, फ्रीडम, जस्टिस, सेक्युलरिज्म, तो इसके पीछे की जो एक पॉलिटिकल थॉट है, जो पॉलिटिकल थिंकर्स की फिलॉसफी है, वो सब हम इस चैप्टर में पढ़ेंगे. नाउ वी विल स्टार्ट विद व्हाट इज पॉलिटिक्स. अब पॉलिटिक्स क्या है? वी नो दैट पीपल हैव डिफरेंट आइडिया अबाउट पॉलिटिक्स. सभी जो पॉलिटिकल लीडर्स हैं एंड पर्सन्स हु कंटेस्ट इलेक्शंस, whosoever hold the political office, they argue that they are public servants. So basically, politics is the art of governing, and politics also teaches us how to run the government's activities properly. Then politics also presents a solution to administrative governance disputes. ये हम पिछले चैप्टर्स में आपने देखा, हम पढ़ते आए हैं कि जब भी कभी एडमिनिस्ट्रेटिव गवर्नेंस डिस्प्यूट्स होते हैं बिटवीन द सेंटर एंड द स्टेट और बिटवीन द स्टेट्स, किसी भी बात को जब लेके डिस्प्यूट होता है तो किस तरह से उसमें जुडिशरी का इंटरफेरेंस जो है इट इज सॉट, एंड हाउ दीज डिस्प्यूट्स आर रिजॉल्व्ड. Then politics also teaches us participation, but the common man encounters conflicting images of politics. Politics is all about participation. जितना भी politics का जो भी जो concept है उसमें सभी का participation होना बहुत जरूरी है. सभी का मतलब each and every citizen of the country. लेकिन आज जो कॉमन मैन है उसके दिमाग में पॉलिटिक्स की एक कंफ्लिक्टिंग इमेज है, you know, you must have seen people talking, मैं तो पॉलिटिक्स से कोसों दूर हूँ, और आज आप देख रहे हैं इलेक्शंस हो रहे हैं यूपी में, एंड देयर आर इलेक्शंस इन Punjab and Uttarakhand also. So a normal person who is, you know, just done with the dirty politics, वो politics से दूर रहना चाहता है. और आप अक्सर ये लोगों को बात करते हुए सुनते होंगे कि I don't want to get into politics. और politics is, you know, it is linked to personal selfishness. कोई भी पार्टी आ जाए, हमें क्या लेना देना, सभी जो हैं वो selfish हैं और सभी को अपनी जेब भरनी है. तो ये एक कंसेप्ट जो है सिटीजन्स के दिमाग में आ चुका है, जो कि नहीं होना चाहिए, एंड इट इज अ वेरी वेरी अनहेल्दी साइन, बिकॉज एज वी हैव डिस्कस्ड दैट पॉलिटिक्स का जो फर्स्ट जो प्रिंसिपल है, इट टीचेस अस टू पार्टिसिपेट एक्टिवली इन द you know, in making our democracy successful by involving ourselves in decision making process of the policies of the government directly or indirectly, because politics is ultimately related to public welfare. अब public कौन है? हम लोग हैं. तो अपने welfare के लिए हमें एक जागरूक citizen होने का एक responsibility है हम पे. but because of the you know बहुत सी चीजें इस तरह से politics में होती हैं कि people who say that they are into the politics for social welfare and for the cause of upliftment of the nation. We have seen you know, their conflicting images. So all this is what we study in politics. Now next comes, why do we study or what do we study in political theory? या why do we study political theory? अब सबसे पहले political theory होती क्या है? पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी कुछ नहीं है, एक वैल्यू सिस्टम है, एक मॉरल्स है किसी भी पॉलिटिकल थिंकर के, या कोई एक वैल्यू सिस्टम जो उसने अटैच किया है किसी पॉलिटिकल फिलॉसफी के लिए, बी इट फ्रीडम, बी इट इक्वालिटी, बी इट जस्टिस, बी इट डेमोक्रेसी, और मे बी सेक्युलरिज्म. उस पे जो एक वैल्यू सिस्टम अटैच किया जाता है अलग अलग पॉलिटिकल theorists के द्वारा, जो हम पढ़ेंगे political theories, socialism and then liberalism and Marxism and all these what all these political theories say about all these value systems. So political theory reads the principles of fixed values by which policies are directed. अब जिन countries में socialism है, उनकी पॉलिटिकल जो फिलॉसफी है वो सोशलिज्म पे बेस्ड है, एक यू नो कॉमन गुड ऑफ पीपल बाय शेयरिंग ऑफ रिसोर्सेज. तो उनकी पॉलिसीज उस हिसाब से डायरेक्ट होती हैं. द कैपिटलिस्ट कंट्रीज which followed Marxism, उनका जो एक फ्री मार्केट और ये जो कंसेप्ट है वो उसके उस आधार पे जो है पॉलिसीज फ्रेम होती हैं. So that is what we study in political theory, and we study it because whenever we compare the nations, the politics of different nations, or we study our political system, we study the different aspects of these political theories. Now the next topic was कि ये जो पॉलिटिकल प्रिंसिपल्स होते हैं, ये जो पॉलिटिकल फिलॉसफी से जो वैल्यूज इमर्ज होकर के आती हैं, हाउ डू वी पुट दीज पॉलिटिकल प्रिंसिपल्स इनटू प्रैक्टिस. सो दिस चैप्टर एक्चुअली इज अ वेरी वेरी बेसिक चैप्टर, जो आपको ये बताना चाह रहा है कि हम इस बुक में बेसिकली हर वैल्यू सिस्टम को लेके, हर जो हमारे प्रीएम्बल में जितनी भी वैल्यूज हैं, इक्वालिटी, लिबर्टी, फ्रीडम, सेक्युलरिज्म, जस्टिस, सोशल जस्टिस, इन सब के जो पॉलिटिकल प्रिंसिपल्स जो हैं वो क्या हैं, और किस फिलॉसफी को फॉलो करके हमने उनको जो है अपने देश में लागू किया है. सो दिस नेचर ऑफ पॉलिटिक्स, इट हैज बीन चेंजिंग विद द पैसेज ऑफ टाइम. The task of putting political principles such as freedom and equality into practice is very difficult. हम देख ही रहे हैं कि फ्रीडम और इक्वालिटी की जब हम बात करते हैं, उसको वो खाली पॉलिटिकल इक्वालिटी से उसका मतलब नहीं है कि हमने सभी को वोट देने का अधिकार दे दिया, हमने सबको एक यूनिवर्सल एडल्ट फ्रेंचाइज के थ्रू सभी को इन्वॉल्व कर लिया, या हमने सिटीजनशिप सबको ग्रांट कर दी इररिस्पेक्टिव ऑफ कास्ट, कलर, क्रीड, सेक्स। तो इक्वालिटी जो है वो हो गई। वो हम भी जानते हैं कि फ्रीडम हो या इक्वालिटी हो, उसमें कितने प्रेजुडिसेस रहते हैं, और हमने उन प्रेजुडिसेस को अबैंडन करने के लिए या उनको अडॉप्ट करने के लिए फ्रीडम की जो फिलॉसफी है उसके लिए हमने क्या किया है, और वो जो हमारा सफर है, वो जो हमारी जर्नी है, उसको हम पढ़ते भी आ रहे हैं, और उसको अब जो है पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी के कंटेक्स्ट में हम उसको स्टडी करेंगे, एंड वी विल बी टेस्टिंग आवर थॉट्स एंड फीलिंग्स अबाउट द political systems. Because as conscious citizens, we must understand these values which enable any country to develop further. So political theory is not an object. It is related to humans. Political theory कोई mathematics नहीं है कि आपने उसमें एक फॉर्मूला लगाया और क्वेश्चन जो है सॉल्व कर दिया। एक फिक्स्ड फॉर्मूला नहीं है किसी भी समस्या को के समाधान के लिए। देयर इज नो फिक्स्ड फॉर्मूला as in physics or in mathematics कि वो one formula fits all. It is not about one size which fits all. हर देश के जो लोकल सर्कमस्टांसेस हैं, जो उसकी अपनी जो हिस्टोरिकल बैकग्राउंड है या जो कल्चरल बैकग्राउंड है, उसके हिसाब से पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी वेरीज. So once we say political theory, we cannot say it is a static, object. And यही philosophy जो है इसको follow करने से we can attain success, or we can make our democracy successful. For example, equality means equal opportunities for all. अगर हम equality की बात करें तो equality को कैसे define करते हैं कि equality for all, equal opportunities for all, literal meaning. लेकिन उसके बावजूद भी हम देखते हैं कि सेपरेट अरेंजमेंट्स इन आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन, जैसे हमने देखा है कि वी हैव मेड स्पेशल अरेंजमेंट्स फॉर women, for elderly, for differentially abled, also the caste based जो हमारे reservations हैं वो हैं. तो अगर हम equality की बात करते हैं तो फिर हमने क्यों reservations दिए हुए हैं? क्योंकि हमारा जो इतिहास है वो ऐसा रहा है, हमारा कल्चर ऐसा रहा है कि जो रिमोट एरियाज में लोग रहते थे, पीपल हु वर वेरी वेरी पुअर, they were not into the mainstream, and they were denied of the opportunities for even basic things like education and health. So we have got our own reasonable basis for discrimination of this type, whereby we have made reservation for women and for differentially abled, for elders, जो हमने खास जो प्रोविजंस दिए हैं अपने कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन में. So equality in different countries can mean different things. We were not affluent country when we were given freedom, when we became independent. So for us, equality has a different meaning than other countries. Now why should we study political theory? अब हम ये कहेंगे कि अगर हम political theory क्यों पढ़ें? To be a citizen, to take a proper decision at the time of future problems, for basic and general knowledge. एक तो चीज ये है कि political theory हम 11th क्लास में जो है उससे हमारा क्या लेना देना, हम कोई policy framers तो नहीं है. No, it is for basic and your general knowledge at the school level. But now you people are appearing for the UPSC exam, and you should be aware of what political values and what political theory has gone into the making of your constitution, because ultimately you are going to be the decision makers, the bureaucracy of our country, the privileged and the very very important bureaucracy of our country. So you are aspiring civil servants, so you need to be politically consciousness, and not only you, even an ordinary citizen should be politically conscious, and he or she should be empowered and aware citizen, because ultimately all these policies are going to affect of us all. Then, of course, to cast the vote, that is a very, very basic thing, to eradicate prejudices from society and to establish unity. Now, this may seem very, very basic and a very simple statement, to eradicate prejudices from society. Right from class 6, we have been talking about eradicating the prejudices from society and establishing unity. But this is a very, very in-depth, study, how to eradicate prejudices from society, which we have not been able to do as yet after even 70 or 70 plus years of independence, and how to hold our nation together while dealing with all these prejudices. So, political theory also gives us inspiration and right direction to the movement. All these things, they inspire us how to make our policies better, how to make them people friendly, how to make them such that there is opportunity for everybody to develop into a person who is putting his talent into practice, and opportunities for his or her individual development also. So also we learn the art of making the right decision after assessing the debate, argument, profit and loss. Now all these political theories, at the time of making of constitution, they were debated openly, they were argued. We talked about profit and loss means, we talked about its positive and negative points at the time of making these policies, and we still do. You must have seen the parliament sessions where we openly debate and argue and discuss its points, so that before making any decision and before implementing any policy into practice. So it is necessary to study political theory. Then, for information about government, to make policies, as I said, how our government is working and how the governance is done, we ought to know the political theory behind all these principles, all these values enshrined in our preamble. Also, to gain knowledge of the utility of democracy. Now, democracy itself is a very, it is an umbrella which encompasses all these values. So, to make our democracy successful, we have to have the knowledge of all these things, and what various political thinkers from olden times have discussed, what were their views on social justice and all these things. Then finally, to understand our own rights and duties. अपनी rights and duties के लिए तो हर आदमी को conscious होना चाहिए ना. तो एक citizen होने के नाते अपनी rights and duties को understand करने के लिए भी we need to study the political theory. Also to make future plans, and future plans which you as aspirants of UPSC should be knowing how to make future plans, and how in your interviews and in your discussions also you are given a visionary plan to make. So how if you don't understand what goes into the making of all these policies, you'll never be able to discuss. Also, to promote international peace and cooperation, we cannot only think of our own country. We have to maintain international peace and cooperation, for which we have to have knowledge of all these things. Then, as a student of political science, as a student of polity, we study the various governance systems. Although we may be following democracy, but we also study the countries where there is monarchy and where there is dictatorship. We compare the various political philosophies which go into behind the working of such countries. So for all these things, we study deeply the political theory. of a particular nation. Now, talking about political theory in politics. Now, political theory in politics, they are two different beliefs. Politics को अगर हम देखें तो it is made up of two words, Raj plus policy. That means policy based government. या पॉलिसी बेस्ड गवर्नेंस, जो शासन जो है किस पॉलिसी के आधार पे चलता है, दैट इज पॉलिटिक्स. So the use of any particular principle or practice at the individual level of the job comes under पॉलिटिक्स. तो किसी भी तरह की जो पॉलिसी बेस्ड, जो भी हमारा कोई भी जो हम नीति अपनाते हैं जिसके पीछे कोई एक पॉलिसी बेस्ड जो है, दैट वी से पॉलिटिक्स. बेसिकली एनी डिसीजन वी मेक in the process of forming a government or the process of obtaining power, etc. So while the main subjects of political theory are the state and the government, basically matlab what is political science? It is all about the state and the government, but it also explains the meaning of concepts like freedom, equality, justice and democracy. क्यों? क्योंकि हमने शुरू में कहा था कि the aim of political theory is to train citizens to think rationally about political questions and also assess the socio-political events properly. Like I said, mathematics में there is a definition of a triangle or square. वो आप कहीं पे भी चले जाओ, ऐसा नहीं है कि इंडिया में ट्रायंगल की डेफिनेशन अलग है और यूके में अलग है और यूएसए में अलग है. चाहे ट्रायंगल हो, स्क्वायर हो, सबकी जो फॉर्मूला है और जो सबकी डेफिनेशंस हैं, इट इज सेम ऑल ओवर द वर्ल्ड. बट पॉलिटिकल थ्योरी में हमारी जो डेफिनेशंस हैं इक्वालिटी की, फ्रीडम की या जस्टिस की, वो किसी भी कंट्री के परिवेश को देखते हुए डिफरेंट होती हैं. Now, this is because equality, justice are concerned with our relationship with other human beings rather than anything. As I told you, it is not an object. Politics जो है या political science कोई object नहीं है. ये एक human to human relationship है. जो भी words हम use करते हैं, it is about relationship with other human beings. So, अगर हम इसको कहें कि it is about testing emotions through our thoughts and behavior about political things, so that will not be a false statement. Of course, we test emotions, we go through the thought process, we understand the behavior behind the certain political thing. So political science and politics are two different perceptions. Political science is born before politics. It is based on morality. Political science है कि किस तरह से स्टेट और गवर्नेंस होनी चाहिए. इट इज बेस्ड ऑन मोरालिटी. पॉलिटिक्स उसका एक सब पार्ट कह लीजिए. इट इज बॉर्न बिफोर पॉलिटिक्स. मतलब पॉलिटिकल साइंस जो है पेरेंट बॉडी है, उससे जन्म लिया है पॉलिटिक्स ने. ऑफ कोर्स पॉलिटिकल साइंस इज अ रोजी लवी डवी पिक्चर हाउ इट शुड बी बेस्ड ऑन मोरालिटी. लेकिन पॉलिटिक्स क्या है? इट इज बेस्ड ऑन अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड कन्वीनियंस. पॉलिटिक्स जो है वो कन्वीनियंस के अकॉर्डिंग टू द कन्वीनियंस ऑफ द सोशियो इकोनॉमिक बैकग्राउंड ऑफ अ कंट्री कीप्स ऑन चेंजिंग. Even then it can be considered as two sides of the same coin. अलग अलग perception है, but they go hand in hand. Politics may not be based on morality. आप कहोगे कि politics कहाँ से morality है? Politics is all about, dirt and competition and corruption and whatnot. But they are inseparable. They go hand in hand, and they are the two sides of the coin. Now, what is the importance of political theory? Because when we study the political theory, we systematically think about concepts like justice and equality, and we communicate rationally and effectively. Also, this also assists us in efficient and effective political decision making. That is why when we study the value system and the things which have gone beyond that, gone beneath that social system, then only we can say that there is efficient and effective political decision making. And of course, when we study all the political theories of the different nations, we get information about the international world. After all, it is not only about our country. We are living in a global world where we are dependent upon other countries also. So we also get to information about the international world, how things work there, how things, what is their philosophy, what is their kind of state, their kind of governance. And then only being a part of a large global world, then only we can be a internationally aware citizen who have the capacity to communicate rationally and effectively. We can speak on any topic. We can analyze their political theories. We can analyze their decisions based on other countries also. And in this way, it empowers us to be a rational, systematic decision maker. So that is about the political theory, which was a basic introductory chapter of book 2. So we will stop here and see you in the next video. Till then, goodbye.